morning. This is your breakfast news from AYOGEN online television. I am Makanjola Luatosinesta. Here are the headlines. Army Chief Atahiru AIB submits interim report on plane crash to Air Force. Huara condemns poor performance of waste managers in Ilorin metropolis. On our political news this morning, fuel scarcity APGA gives Uzodima oil marketers 3-day ultimatum to return to normalcy or face court action. On our business news, Dana F committed to Nigerians' growth, says CEO. On our sport news this morning, Barcelona's Pedro Alba injured. Health news. On our health news this morning, over 100 dies of cholera in Niger. On our foreign news, UAE declares 6 Nigerians wanted for terrorism. And on our entertainment news this morning, Big Brother Naija Season 6, you did well. J. Paul's mom hails Jackie B on first meeting. Army Chief Atahiru AIB submits interim report on plane crash to Air Force. The Accident Investigation Bureau AIB has submitted an interim report on the plane crash that killed an ex-Nigerian Army Chief, Lieutenant General Atahiru, and other officers. AIB Commissioner Engineer Akin Olateru represented the documents to the Chief of Air Staff, CAS, Air Marshal Amaho, at the NAF headquarters, Abuja. A NAV King Air A350 aircraft crashed at the Kaduna Airport on May 2021. A statement on Wednesday by NAF Director of Information, Edward Gabwet, and AIB image maker, Tunji Oketumbi, gave a brief insight into the report. It said after the incident, Amaho directed that a joint investigative body consisting of experienced NAF safety officers and the AIB be constituted to investigate the report. The report is in 3 sections: the information obtained in the course of the investigation, analysis of data collected in view of the board's terms of reference, and the conclusion, which covers the initial findings and immediate recommendations. Still at the interim stage, a total of 27 initial findings and 8 immediate safety recommendations were made for the convening authority and other aviation-related agencies for immediate implementation. The final report will contain the flight data recorder readout, the reviewed operators and service providers' standards, operating procedures, as well as other detailed analysis. Huara condemns poor performance of waste managers in Ilorin metropolis. The Kwara State Environment Commissioner, Remilekun Banigbe, has condemned social waste management for their poor performance in the evacuation of waste within the Ilorin metropolis. Speaking at a meeting with the social waste managers in her office in Ilorin, the commissioner said despite several warnings to the waste managers to be alive to their responsibilities, the reverse has been the case. She said the government could no longer tolerate the lackadaisical attitude of the waste managers. Banigbe charged them to synergize with the Ministry of Environment as a team to make the state hygienically safe for the citizens. Let us do things right by working within the time frame. Be proactive by giving your team the terms for adequate execution of the job, she advised. According to the commissioner, the rural bins for dumping of refuse by the public were provided as intervention schemes to help in packing waste to ease their jobs as well as to give the city a good look. The permanent secretary of the ministry, Pastor Abraham Kola Ojo, said the waste remained an eyesore, hence the urgent need for evacuation to ensure cleanliness of Ilorin metropolis. Responding, a representative of the Interproject Waste, Mr. Julius Elelubo, promised to provide service delivery to avoid environment hazards in the state. On our political news this morning, fuel scarcity APGA gives Uzodima oil marketers 3-day ultimatum to return normalcy or face court action. The leadership of the All Progressive Grand Alliance ABGA Imo State chapter has accused the Imo State governor, led by Senator Hope Uzodima, and the leadership of Petroleum Tanker Drivers Association of Nigeria, turning deaf ear to the confronting hardship and sufferings of the people. The party said Governor Uzodima and oil marketers should take notice of their intention to approach a court of competent jurisdiction if at the end of business on Friday, 17th September 2021, the situation persists. In a release signed by the APGA State Chairman, Honorable John Iwala, on Wednesday, the party said at the beginning of this strike, action embarked upon by the drivers, All Progressive Grand Alliance APGA Imo chapter warned and threatened court action, lamenting the effect of hardship this action will bring to the masses. APGA said the party may use court order to confiscate and auction all ordered petroleum products around Imo, prosecute offending drivers. According to the party, whereas the PTDA and the state government, under the watch of Governor Hope Uzodima, have vehemently decided to play that then I don't care approach towards the sufferings of Indimo. Whereas the petroleum marketers have exonerated themselves from this ordering of product and the forceful act of the masses to buy from the stations at black market prices. As recorded at their radio program, Outing and Darling 107.3 FM Owerri yesterday, 14/9/2021, whereas also that the present APC government of the state has found it difficult to call the situation to order by doing the needful and letting the situation degenerate into a perpetual sufferings and hardship borne by the ordinary citizens of Imo State, which APGA cannot tolerate any longer. Imo State is not a caused state, and therefore we would never allow the government of some certain individuals being manipulated by some people allergic to peaceful coexistence to destroy the peace of Indimo. On our business news, Dana Air committed to Nigerians' growth, says CEO. The Chief Executive Officer of Dana Air, Jackie Harrisman, has reiterated the airline's commitment to Nigerians' economic growth. This was disclosed in a statement following the 14th Annual Banking and Finance Conference themed Economic Recovery, Inclusion and Transformation, the role of banking and finance, which took place recently in Abuja. Athamarani, represented by the airline's head of corporate communications, Kingsley Ezenwa, said airline was proud to have supported the conference in a bid to find solutions to contemporary issues for rapid economic recovery and sustainability. He said aviation is a key driver of any economy, and we understand the role that the banks and financial institutions play not only in our own industry, the aviation industry, in terms of accessibility and financial inclusion, but towards achieving a faster economic recovery and transformation, which is the aim of this present administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. We thank the Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshibanjo, for his presence and support, the Central Bank Governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, the CIBN President, Dr. Bayo Olugbemi, and the Chairman, Body of Banks CEO, Dr. Abat Wigwe, for putting up government of a strong commitment towards Nigerian economic recovery and growth. According to Dana Air, the airline serves as one of the Nigerian leading carriers with over 27 daily flights from Lagos to Abuja, Port Harcourt, Owerri, and Enugu. On our sport news, Barcelona Pedro Alba injured. Barcelona have been hit by injuries to Pedro and Jordi Alba. The club confirmed on Wednesday Pedro has injured his left quadriceps while test on Wednesday morning revealed Alba has a hamstring injury in his right thigh. Barca said both players are unavailable for selection and their return will depend on the recovery. The duo's absence is another blow for Barcelona, who were outplayed in a 3-0 defeat by Bayern Munich on Tuesday night in their opening game of the Champions League. Alba had to go off in the 74th minute of the game while Pedri completed the match. The 18-year-old Pedri has endured an exhausting year after playing 56 games in total last season, before then representing Spain over the summer at both Euro 2020 and the Olympics. The pair will now miss Barcelona's La Liga fixture at home to Granada on Monday, with league games against Cadiz and Levante to follow. Barca then have crunch matches against Benfica in the Champions League on September 29 and Atletico Madrid in La Liga 3 days later, AFP. And on our health news, over 100 dies of cholera in Niger State. Niger State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Muhammadu Mukusidi, has disclosed that no fewer than 150 persons have lost their lives to a cholera outbreak across the 25. Mukusidi stated this in Minna, the state capital, at the ongoing workshop by Pathfinder International. He said initially the disease was detected in about 18 councils, but later spread to the entire 25 LGAs. He explained that unlike the COVID-19 pandemic, the state government was able to tackle the disease outbreak adequately. While attributing it to human behaviors, according to him, there is no local government in the state that has not been touched. We lost between 150 persons. Initially, we noticed it is in 18 local governments and later spread to 25 councils. And as part of our preparedness, unlike COVID-19, it was highly anticipated due to human behaviors. Environmental changes, we defecate everywhere. Open defecation is still on the rampage. Government alone cannot do it. It is everyone's business. People need to have latrines or toilets in their homes because government cannot come and stop anyone from open defecation. Asked on poliomyelitis, he explained that Nigeria so far has been certified polio-free, which was celebrated in the country, just as efforts are still being made by the government at all levels to maintain the tempo. The commissioner further explained that at the moment, the Niger state government still has budgetary provision on polio to ensure that it never surfaced in the state. The tension is still high. Niger state government is not relenting in the fight against polio as there is still budgetary provision to ensure that it is gone completely, Makusidi added. On our foreign news, UAE declares 6 Nigerians wanted for terrorism. The United Arab Emirates, UAE, has declared 6 Nigerians wanted for terrorism. The United Arab Emirates has declared 6 Nigerians for terrorism. The Nigerians are on the list of 38 individuals and 15 entities the country added to its terror designation list. According to foreign news platform Al Arabiya on the Run, new hideout of bandits fleeing Zamfara, and our podcast, What Happens to the Various Taxes Nigerians Pay. The decision WAM stated within the framework of the UAE's effort to target and disrupt networks associated with the financing of terrorism and its associated activities. Al Arabiya said in its report, 4 Emirates, 2 Lebanese, 8 Yemenis, 5 Syrians, 5 Iranians, 2 Iraqis, 1 each from India, Afghanistan, Britain, State, Kit Navis, Russia, and Jordan are among those on the 38-man list. Below are the Nigerians on the terror list: Abdurrahman Ado Musa, Saliu Yusuf Adamu, Bashir Ali Yusuf, Muhammad Ibrahim Isa, Ibrahim Ali Hassan, Suraju Abubakar Mohammed. Back home in Nigeria, a federal high court in Abuja has fixed September 17th for the arraignment of 400 suspects alleged sponsoring for terrorism. The case will come up before the Justice Awuli Chikere. The presidency had in March announced the arrest of the suspects, mainly bureau de change operators who allegedly facilitated the transfer of money to Boko Haram terrorists. Some Nigerians were said to be transferring the funds to sect from the United Arab Emirates, UAE, in conjunction with the BDC operators. Still on the Big Brother Naija Season 6, You Did Well, J. Paul's mom hails Jackie B on first meeting. Mother to Big Brother Naija Shanya I ex-housemate J. Paul has hailed Jackie B for her son's fellow ex-housemate as the duo met for the first time. In a video shared by J. Paul's mom on her Instagram page, she was seen with Jackie B showering the latter with praises. J. Paul was evicted from the Big Brother Naija house alongside Jackie B during the live eviction show on Sunday. During his exit interview with the show host, Ebuka Obi Uchendu, J. Paul had mentioned that Jackie B was one of his closest female friends in the house, aside from Sasuke, his love interest. As J. Paul's mom, identified as Dr. Genevieve Barnaby on Instagram, met Jackie B for the first time. She stated that the latter did very well in the house and was one of her son's best friends. And so that will be that on our breakfast news this morning. We'll be right back. highlights of our news. Army Chief Atairu, AIB submits interim report on plane crash to Air Force. On our Huara condemns poor performance of waste managers in Ilorin metropolis. On our political news, fuel scarcity, APGA gives Uzodima oil marketers 3-day ultimatum to return to normalcy or face court action. Business news, Dana Air committed to Nigerians' growth, says CEO. Sport news, Barcelonas Pedro Alba injured. Our health news, over 100 dies of cholera in Niger. Foreign news this morning, UAE declares 6 Nigerians wanted for terrorism. And our entertainment news, Big Brother Nigerians Season 6, You Did Well, J. Paul's mom, hails Jackie B on first meeting. And that will be that. Thanks you for watching. I want you to always subscribe on our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook, live on AYOGEN Television. I am Makonjola Oluwatosin Esther, your host for today. Do have a great day ahead.